Hi, today I'm going to walk you really quickly through a behind the scenes look at the process of creating the cover for Rebecca Gale's new novel, Trying, which is coming out in December. So here right now you can see this was what we ended up with, but we went through quite a lot of concepts and iterations to get to this point. So first, real quick, I'm going to show you some of the concepts that we started with and discarded. This was a very early one. Again, this is a science fiction story, but it's also at its heart a romance. So we wanted to capture that feeling of romance and fantasy, and this is one concept that we tried. We pretty quickly discarded it, but it was an option. This is another. We did quite a few along these lines. This was just a stock photo, but again, trying to fit the book into its genre as best we could and reflect the story that was inside. But this one wasn't one of our favorites. It definitely wasn't one of the author favorites. We went in a completely different direction with this design. It looked very much to us like a title that would fit in Boxfire Press's list, but there was a danger in casting the image of the protagonist so directly. We really actually liked this one. We even did a 3D mock-up, but it wasn't a favorite of the author either. And when we showed it to the distributor, they liked it. It wasn't necessarily a favorite either. So we ended up with this texture, and this is what started us down a pretty completely different path. We took this kind of rough texture. It's obviously like a cement or stucco wall, very bright color, and we smoothed it out into this background. It almost has a watercolor finish now, and there's a bit of a texture of like a paint canvas behind it. Made it bigger, actually duplicated it and split it on each side. And then we started added elements, very graphic elements. The one we ended up with was this heart here, which you can see is made up of all kinds of danger symbols: the skull and crossbone, high voltage, biohazard, high voltage. I said high voltage already. All different kinds of things in the shape of a heart. I know it's hard to see there, but you'll see it better when I show you the end cover again. And this was actually quite a bit of work. It was a bunch of symbols that we did in Illustrator that we had to place in the shape of the heart. We had to resize them, rotate them, copy them over and over again, and to get that heart shape. And these elements actually are important to this story. I don't want to give too much away, but that's why they're there. So that led us to build some concepts out of these very graphic images, and we started testing some different colors. This was one color combo that we decided to not use, but it was one option. We did an all blue version. We did a really hot pink version, which I still kind of like just because it's so unusual and it reflects, I think, some of the vibrancy in the story and definitely Rebecca's style. And if you know Rebecca, it reflects some of the, I think, passion and fire that she has too, but it was a little too bright. We also experimented with different symbols. Instead of the heart shape, and you can see here in this version we changed it from a novel to a love story. And we actually used this rebus in a different form on the back cover. But then we kind of settled on this color scheme. I lost it there. Hang on, let me open it up. And we changed the tagline again to some kind of love story because the author was kind of insistent that it wasn't necessarily a love story, it was more of a breakup story. So we compromised with some kind of love story just to make sure readers had a good signal as to what it's about. Still wasn't quite right for us. It was almost too formal with the way the text was laid out. So we went to this version, which became the final version. Zoom it out here a little bit so you can see it better, where we just tilted the text a little bit to throw it off kilter. We added a drop shadow on the title, which is kind of hard to see, but if I take it away, You can see it better. It's not a traditional drop shadow. Again, just giving it a little something to tell you this is not your typical love story. And then also we added just a little touch that doesn't seem like it would make a big deal, but we added a shadow on the heart to give it a little perspective. So that is it. That is the quick, down, dirty, fast version of how we arrive from our first concepts to the cover you will see in December when you read Rebecca's novel. Thanks.